following program comes from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Every athlete is on this quest. Every performer dives in head first, battling real-life challenges and overcoming obstacles in an effort to make their dreams reality. Singer, songwriter, 15-year WWE host Lilian Garcia was the first woman to ever announce WrestleMania. And the first to launch her own podcast, which gives you an all-access pass to the human interest stories of elite athletes and extraordinary entertainers. Now, let's embark on another fascinating journey of chasing glory with your host, Lilian Garcia.
Well, happy post-Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you had an amazing week. I hope that you spent time with your friends and family and just had a really enriching week. Now, of course, that's for all of us here in the U.S., and there's a lot of people around the world that really don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but it is always a time to be grateful. I don't just use Thanksgiving as the only time to be grateful, right? Because there's so many things to be grateful for. Remember that we can definitely walk around moping and groping and just wishing for more things. But if we just stop and really just appreciate the things that we do have in the moment, you will see really how enriched your life is. Welcome to Chasing Glory, everybody. So great to have you. And I am grateful for all of you that are definitely here with me today. And we have an exciting show for you. It's an exclusive show, which I'm very, very excited about. I want to thank you for following me at Lilian Garcia on Instagram and Twitter, Lilian Garcia official fan page on Facebook, and also at Chasing Glory Podcast on Instagram. I hope that everybody had a great also Black Friday. Did anybody go shopping out there? Did you go mad shopping out there? Did you get things for your friends and families? Did you score on some Christmas gifts? Well, if you missed out on Black Friday, like I did, I actually decided to go to Disneyland. I love Disney. Anybody else love Disney? I actually got married in Disney World years ago with my husband. It's almost been 10 years, so 9 years. 9 years ago, that's right. We did the whole Disney thing, which was fantastic. If you guys want like an incredible, memorable wedding, yeah, get married at Disney World or Disneyland, I guess. I don't really know what Disneyland does for the weddings, but I do know what Disney World does. Anyway, went to Disneyland. My sister was in town, and it was just great. We got to escape and be kids. You know, I always tell you guys, tap into the kids inside of you. So the three of us with my husband, we went off and we did the kid thing. And we played and we did rides and we ate food. And oh my gosh, just had a great time, you know, just not worrying about anything. And just playing. Your body needs that. Your soul needs that. Your brain needs that. So like I said, either you went shopping or Disneyland or whatever you did, I hope you had a great Black Friday. And now today it's Cyber Monday. So many specials out there. And something that I want to tell you guys about so that you don't miss out on this is Four Sigmatic. Now, what the heck is Four Sigmatic? Four Sigmatic is they have coffee, they have teas, they have hot cacao, they have lemonade. It is all with mushrooms. Mushrooms are a miracle, incredible magic. So Four Sigmatic has this product that I came across. My friends were telling me about it. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. Oh my gosh, I am so hooked. And they have some incredible specials right now. By the way, let me just tell you about some of these products because that way you can understand better what I'm talking about. Like they have the mushroom coffee with lion's mane, and that promotes productivity, focus, and creativity. It's balanced, stimulated coffee, but without the jitters. Who hates having jitters with coffee? As a matter of fact, with regular coffee, I can literally only do about 2 sips of coffee. I know it's kind of crazy to hear that, but my system is already one of those that's revved, and I'm constantly, I have a lot of energy. I really do, but I love coffee. So I'm like, well, how can I still have my coffee but not have the jitters? This is the answer. So they have that. It's a superfood company, by the way. I mean, they have chai latte. Oh yeah, the chai latte. Can we just talk about the chai latte? That is my absolute favorite. And sometimes what I do is I'll put coffee inside the chai latte. And I think that's what they call a dirty chai. So good. And that specific chai latte with the mushroom mix, that one is for the gut. Now, they call the gut the second brain, because if your gut is not healthy, forget about it. Everything else in your body is just not functioning right. So any of you out there that have any issues with your gut, and as a matter of fact, you don't even have to have issues, because it is good just to get your gut regulated all the time and have it balanced, have it healthy. This is the thing to take for it. Chai latte mushroom mix. So it's got turkey tail and reishi, and it's just so good. It is caffeine free, vegan, and certified paleo for any of you out there that definitely want that into your body. And they have the golden latte mushroom mix. What that is, it makes you glow from the inside out, because this actually promotes good skin. It's got shiitake, which has been used for centuries to support full body well-being. And it's, got the potential that was they call the super beauty mix. There you go. So glow from the inside out with the golden latte mushroom mix. The reishi elixir, for any of you that are having a hard time sleeping, and I know some people out there have restless sleeping patterns, this is for you, because reishi has been shown to support the body's sleep cycle as well as support occasional stress. So now you're going to be able to relax, go to sleep, have a good night's sleep. That's the reishi. So I'm telling you guys about these products because I absolutely believe in them. They are definitely incredible. You have to try them out. So go to foursigmatic.com/glory. foursigmatic.com/glory. That's going to give you 15% off your entire order. They're having a ridiculous sale. So you're going to get a 15% off on top of that ridiculous sale. So there you go. Now's the time to buy it. Spell out the number 4, F-O-U-R. Sigmatic is S-I-G-M-A-T-I-C. Just the way it sounds. foursigmatic.com/glory. If you don't put the /glory, you're not going to get the 15% off. All right. So go there now and you're going to find out why I am so excited about this product. And thank you to them for also sponsoring Chasing Glory, because that way you're getting it for free. But remember, I never endorse a product that I don't 100% believe in. So you can feel secure that I have done my homework on this company and that they are fantastic. And another product actually that I absolutely love, that I endorse 100%, and that is Fabfitfun. Now, I'll tell you about them in detail later on in the show, but just remember this. Go to Fab, F-A-B, Fit, F-I-T, Fun, F-U-N.com. Remember the promo code GLORY. All right, that is going to get you $10 off your box. Now, what is this box? Like I said, I'll tell you in detail, but just know it's over $200 worth of valued products in there for only $49.99. But you, with your $10 off, are going to get it for $39.99. All right, so if you want to check it out now and you don't want to wait, just go to fabfitfun.com and just remember the promo code GLORY at checkout. Go check them out now. But remember, I'm going to tell you more in detail as they are also sponsoring Chasing Glory now. So welcome to Fabfitfun so that all of you can get this show for free. So we love our sponsors. All right, I want to thank Nita Strauss for being my guest last week. Guys, she just kicked off her first ever solo tour. I'm so happy for her. She's got her first ever solo album that is called Controlled Chaos. Check it out. Already was top 10. So ecstatic for her because she's worked really hard. She really shows what hard work can do. And she sacrificed a lot to get to where she's at today. And Nita, all of us here on Chasing Glory, we're just really excited for you. And thank you for sharing your story, your continued chase for glory. Appreciate it. If you guys didn't get a chance to listen to it, I definitely recommend it. I always say you can get amazing little nuggets from every episode that you can then incorporate into your life. And someone today that is my guest that I'm very, very excited about, and that is because he's giving us here at Chasing Glory the very first exclusive interview since he has returned to the WWE. I am speaking about Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio, I mean, what a gem. He is such a giving human being. He has done so much in his career, in his life, and he could have such an attitude of, I don't have time for you. But no, he makes time. He makes time to give back. And he's given me a lot because he was actually my first guest when I had the Spanish podcast, Luchando. He was my first guest there. He was among my first guests when I had my original podcast. And now here he has come on Chasing Glory as the exclusive interview since returning to the WWE. You're going to hear all about that. You're going to hear why he returned. You're going to hear about some of his struggles growing up. We do talk a little bit of politics about the whole border crossing because, you know, he is from Mexico. And, you know, things are definitely a little heavy right now with all about the border crossing. So we talk about that, kind of seeing it from both sides. And we speak about his family, his kids, what his kids are doing, how his son is following in his footsteps, which is pretty darn cool. So you know what? Without further ado, let's just get into this incredible interview. And thank you, Rey, for opening up your heart and being real, raw, and inspiring. Here is Rey Mysterio's journey of chasing glory. Born and raised in San Diego, California, Oscar Gutierrez knew very early on in his life that he would continue the legacy of the Rey Mysterio name. Originally trained by his uncle, Rey Mysterio Sr., he would begin wrestling as Libre before his uncle would pass along the Mysterio name, and from then on would be known as Rey Mysterio Jr. Rey would wrestle for top Mexican promotion AAA, where he consistently stole the show, facing longtime rivals Psicosis and Juventud Guerrera. At the recommendation of a close friend, Conan, Rey would join ECW, where he would continue showcasing his skills before making his debut in WCW against Dean Malenko at the Great American Bash in 1996, where he would remain a staple until the final WCW show. During his tenure in WCW, he would win the WCW Cruiserweight Championship a record of 5 times, which included a historic win in what many consider the greatest match in history of WCW against Eddie Guerrero at Halloween Havoc. Rey decided to take his career to the next level when he signed with the WWE in the summer of 2002, where he immediately made an impact. He would win the WWE Tag Team Championship with Edge, and months later would win his first of 3 WWE Cruiserweight Championships. In 2006, Rey Mysterio would break many records at the Royal Rumble when he not only lasted over 62 minutes, a record at that time, but would win the match itself after entering at number 2. Just 3 months later, Mysterio would defeat Randy Orton and Kurt Angle in a triple threat match at WrestleMania to become the World Heavyweight Champion for the very first time. Rey would have continued success in the WWE before leaving in 2015 after 13 glorious years. Rey was still active in pro wrestling, making appearances for New Japan and AAA, as well as Lucha Underground. He would even make a surprise appearance at the 2018 Royal Rumble in the middle of being a touring independent star, and even main evented the Super Show All In. In October of 2018, Rey Mysterio made his full-time return to the WWE by joining the SmackDown brand, where he continues to be an inspiration to fans worldwide. It's about to get real, raw, and inspiring with Rey Mysterio. All right, here he is, 619 himself, Rey Mysterio. ¿Cómo estás? How are you?
Muy bien. I'm doing incredible. Thank you very much. And just ready for the holidays.
Oh, yes. Me
everything's
too.
right around the corner. This year has gone by so fast.
Ridiculous. It is a little bit ridiculous. It scares me every year how much faster it goes. And I'm like, you remember as a kid, especially before turning 21, you can't wait to get 21. And then all of a sudden after 21, everything goes so fast. You're like, what is happening?
I know it. That is, I don't know if it's the age. As you get older, the days go by faster, and obviously the years go by much faster. But yeah, I do recall that being a kid, you wanted to be overage to do whatever it is that you wanted to do. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, I want time to slow down now.
Yeah. Do your kids, because now how old are they?
My son is 21.
Oh my gosh.
And my daughter is 17.
Wow.
My son is training in Canada right now as we speak.
Oh, wow. I was going to ask you about that because I remember last time we spoke, you talked about how he was going to be training wrestling, that he decided to put football aside and become a wrestler. And I was wondering since we spoke, because it's been almost 2 years since you and I.
Wow.
I know. Well, actually, it's been 2 years. November, 2 years ago is the last time you and I connected. And it was my original podcast and you were on. It's crazy talking about how time flies. And I was wondering how his training was going.
His training has been going incredible. So he started last year up in Florida, and he trained a little bit with Jay Lethal. And this year, he took a bigger step and went up to Canada, and he's finishing up a 3-month training session with Lance Storm up in Calgary. So he's done November 30th. Then he comes back home and we move on to phase 3.
Ooh, and what's phase 3?
Phase 3, it's still up in the air, but it'll begin early next year, January. And I've talked to Booker already to send him up to Houston because Booker has school up in Houston.
Yeah.
Or Mexico City and pick up some Lucha Libre style.
Oh, okay. So does he want to do the mask?
No, I don't think he has something special to do with the mask, just to represent and to pretty much honor his father.
Right.
But I think, because he's known already on TV as a kid, and every now and then we post pictures together, so it's kind of hard. And we're in a different era of wrestling as well.
True. So
if it was from the time I grew up, where you really had to cover your face and take care of your identity, it would be much different. But from his suggestion, he's like, nah, that I have something special that I would love to show you when the time is right.
Wow. Has he showed him?
Representing the mask.
Has he shown you yet?
He's given me ideas, but he hasn't showed me yet.
Wow. Oh my God. You're like a kid at Christmas. Like, I can't wait to see it.
Oh,
right?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, my dream as a father, and when they ask you, well, Ray, what do you have left to do in your career? What is it that you pretty much, done a little bit of everything, or you could say you've done it all. But for me, I would say my final dream come true as a wrestler and as a father is to be able to perform in there with my son, so I can say, okay, now I've done it all. Now this is it.
That would be incredible. I got chills just thinking about that day.
It'll be, and it's going to happen.
Yeah.
God willing, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I want to be in the audience because that's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Do you want it to be? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to ask you. You've seen Dominic since he was a child.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
I know.
And to see him now, how long has it been since you've seen him?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think it's been about 4 years, maybe. It's insane how long it's been since I've seen him. And I just can't believe how big he's grown, because I remember last time you and I got together, you showed me pictures and I I was blown away at how tall he's gotten. So I can understand. I can understand the lucha style maybe not fitting him right because with the mask and all. Because is that tall? Is that true? You think height has to do with that lucha libre style?
I think it's all going to matter to what it is that you can adapt to and what you feel more comfortable doing. But for him to do lucha libre moves is not going to be hard. It's not going to be hard. I've seen bigger guys than him, do lucha libre style. I think especially now in this day, lucha libre has dominated the sport of wrestling, and Europe, Japan, US kind of adapted it and created their own version of lucha libre style. But the high flying has always been there. But I think my son will eventually adapt, and I'm sure whether it's lucha libre, European, strong style, I think he's going to have a mixture of all of those styles combined. That's why I'm making him go through the training that he's been going through.
That's amazing. And I love Lance Storm. I think it's great that you got in there. And then with Booker, forget about it. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Have you seen him do things already that you were so impressed by?
Not in person, just through social media.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
That puts a. I was sharing a video last night with one of his godfathers, with Conan.
Yeah.
And I showed him a video of Dominic taking backdrops in the ring, and I'm telling Conan, I said, you got to check this out. And he's like, oh my God. He goes, man, he's doing good. He looks good. I said, yeah. I said it makes me feel so proud as a father to see him evolve. Like I never would have pictured him doing the stuff that I've, been doing pretty much 30 years of my life.
Yeah.
Because he liked it as a kid, but he wasn't really into it like I was. I grew up around wrestling, and that's all I wanted to do. So it's much different. I never thought he was going to break into this business.
Yeah. And I remember you saying you didn't even force it. Like he was into football and you were like, okay, so I'll support you in football. But you were really so proud of him, or so surprised too, when he said, I want to go ahead and go into wrestling. Yet you were like dancing, like doing cartwheels inside going, yay, I was hoping.
Yes. The inner me was obviously celebrating that. Oh yeah, finally he did it. He asked without me having to push him or have him pursue it. And that as a father makes me feel happy too, that I didn't force him to do anything in his childhood or the beginning of adulthood to please me. It was whatever he wanted to do. And that eventually led to him wanting to break into the sport. If he was going to do it, he was going to do it no matter what. And it actually happened. So it's making me feel much better, and it's much more pure. It's organic.
Yeah. It also says the kind of parent you are. And that is something that I want to definitely stress, because there's a lot of parents out there that want their kids to be like the image of what they want them to be. And I think it's important to let kids be whoever they are. And whether he would have chosen wrestling or not, I know you would have been proud of him. And of course, it makes you excited to know that he's chosen wrestling. Of course. I mean, that's natural. But I just love, Ray, that you didn't force it on him. I love that as a parent. That was so beautiful, because that's same thing with my parents. They let me just pick whatever. The only thing mom said is go to school. Go to school, then you can become whatever you want.
Exactly. And to the flip side of that, my daughter being 17, she's on her last year of high school. And, she's ready to start up her career from from the moment she said, "This is what I want to do," we've been helping her. I've been supporting her. My wife has been helping her more physically.
Mm-hmm. And what is it she wants to do?
She wants to study medicine.
Oh, wow.
She wants to go into medicine school. That's a career that this is so deja vu-ish, because me being a kid, I always wanted to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
My wife, when we met, I was 15, and
wow,
she was in medicine school at the time. At 17, I get a big opportunity to go to Mexico City and wrestle for one of the biggest companies that at the time was barely starting up. And, my wife was going to college at the time, to university, I'm sorry. And it pretty much happened so fast. Next thing you know, I'm on TV. Rey Mysterio is becoming this big success in Mexico City.
Yeah.
And, but my wife at first had to kind of put her school aside and get a side job to help me support me,
right.
Pretty much, because the company didn't start up right away. And I was struggling. I didn't have that much money. I was going on a venture to see what would happen with my career. So she left everything behind and supported me to become who I am now. And so she never had a chance to go back and finish up with med school. She's been talking about it now. You have kids and you kind of get distracted in life and things happen. But now my daughter, to be able to go after her career and having it be medicine, it's kind of like my wife sees a lot of her in our daughter.
Wow. So that is amazing because you, Dominic, is continuing like your legacy. And then all of a sudden, so Aaliyah now is doing that for your wife. That is incredible. And that's just something that she chose on her own?
Yes. Yeah. Something that she chose on her own. And, as of right now, she's not really too sure, but she wants to specialize in pediatrician.
Oh.
So, hopefully, whatever it is that she does, we did to Dominic.
Yeah.
Just do what you like to do and make sure you have fun with it. Just don't change your direction, at this time in your life, because you've already been working hard to accomplish what you want to do.
Yeah.
And it's not going to get any easier. It's going to get much harder. So I know friends can be a distraction. Relationships can be a distraction.
Yeah.
And I vouch for that because I was a very big distraction to my girlfriend, who now is my wife. So, I would hate for that to happen in my daughter's career.
Wow.
So I want to push her to be the best that she can be. We both, because my wife is incredible with our daughter. She really sees a bright future in both of our kids.
Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, the story that you told me before, the fact that you just said, you guys met when you were 15 years old. That is the fact that you're still together and so strong. And I remember you saying that you watched your parents, they didn't fight in front of you. You watched them have a beautiful relationship. So you actually had a good model. And that is so important.
Yes, very. I think it's very, very important. If there's anything I can share now at almost 44 years old of age, growing up, seeing my parents, me being the youngest out of four brothers, and just how solid their relationship was up until this day. It's been a blessing. A blessing, and you only pick the best, to want to be the best. So, that's what my wife and I share. My wife vouches for my parents' relationship and how they are. My wife grew up without a father, just her mom in her life. Her father figure was an uncle. So to be able to both agree with how my parents had their relationship so solid, we kind of carry that in our hearts and in our minds to want to raise our kids the same way, and them see how solid we are, after 29 years of being together.
Oh my God. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
What a great example you're also setting for your kids. Like you just said, that's incredible. And now you just told me about your wife being the fact that she didn't know her father. Has that ever affected her, or the fact that you guys knew each other so young? She was around your family.
She her father was around, but she lost her father at a very young age. She had to have been 5, 6 years old when she lost her dad. Yeah, and that hurt her a lot because she never really had a father figure at home.
Right.
And that when you don't have something like that, you really don't know what you're missing out until you see other relationships or other families, that do have a solid foundation.
Yeah.
And she had 2 hard hits in a lapse of maybe 20 years. She lost her dad when she was very young. And when her brother turned 18, she lost her brother at the age of 18.
Oh my God.
It was really hard. It was just her mother, and her younger sister. So, I know my wife always took the role at her home of being a mother figure for her younger sister, who now is married and has her kids. And, it's just beautiful to see that relationship flourish.
Yeah. What about you, Rey? What was the toughest thing for you growing up, would you say?
If I had to point out a tough era in my life, I would have to say as a kid, I had plenty of time to enjoy my childhood. I played out in the streets till night. We did trick-or-treating at nighttime, and we just had so much fun. Living in San Diego at a very young age, and then having to move to Tijuana, Mexico, at probably about the age of 11 or 12. But I probably have to say that my toughest years as a kid is having to learn the sport of wrestling at such a young age, and being literally the only kid in the class, just because I had a bit of a hall pass because my uncle was the coach or the trainer. Mm-hmm. So he would let me stick around, but you wouldn't see kids my age training in that time. So of course, the youngest kid after me was probably 18 years old.
Wow.
So you have a 11, 12-year-old kid in there, and who is literally a kid, and the next person after that is a teenager.
Yeah.
So, I went through a lot of beat downs and phases in my life that, I didn't really understand that this sport was going to be this hard. So sometimes I would just leave the ring crying, waiting to get some attention from my uncle. And I would just kind of, being in the gym, in the class with everybody there, if I would get hit too hard or get the wind knocked out of me, just like any other kid, you start crying, you kind of pull aside. And I do recall this, just waiting for my uncle to come and say, "Hey, are you okay? Come back in the ring. Come on, it's okay. It's okay." But I would never get that type of attention. And that just made me tougher, mentally much tougher, and physically much tougher.
That's a lot at that
I
age.
take beatings now.
Oh, yeah.
yes, it is.
I mean, I'm sure you
like I said.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was going to say, I'm sure that you understand it now, but back then, trying to process that, like you said, at 11 and 12 years old, does that make you grow up faster?
I think it did, most definitely. Yeah. I think it did help me grow up faster without knowing it or without wanting to do it. And it just gave me much more security to be around people that were older than me, you know, because I could hold a conversation, I could hang out, and day by day you learn something new. You're doing something different. You're hanging out with different people, and you see the good and the bad. So it's up to you to decide, okay, there's always going to be a limit. Is it up to here? This is where you step away from this group, or you keep rolling with them.
Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
Man, I always love hearing about Rey Mysterio's journey. What an incredible athlete, but incredible guy. And we will get right back to hearing more about his Chasing Glory story. But first, I just want to tell you about this amazing product that I promised you guys I was going to let you know about. And that is Fabfitfun. Okay, so what exactly is Fabfitfun? Let me just say that this is everywhere. It is a movement that is happening. And if you haven't heard about it, I want you to know about it so you can join the movement. So it's pretty cool. It's a box that comes 4 times a year. So yeah, it's like having Christmas 4 times a year. But right now, because it is Christmas time, I'm going to tell you about it because it's going to help you on what to get your loved ones for a gift or even a gift for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that every now and then. So for the ladies, this is incredible. And for the men, I'm going to tell you how it's incredible for you too. All right, this box has over $200 worth of product inside of it, but it's only $49.99. Now, of course, for my Chasing Glory listeners, you're going to get a special of $10 off your box. So like I said, it's a subscription-based box. It has all these amazing products that have to do with wellness, fashion, lifestyle, and of course, beauty. And it is all name brand products. So that's why it's worth so much money, but you're going to get it for so much less. I got my box. It was the winter box, obviously. And I was so excited, found all these amazing new products that I had never even heard about. And now I'm 100% in love with them. I can't even live without them. So you're definitely going to love these products that are in there. Okay, how does this help the guys and the girls out there? All right, for you guys out there, first of all, you're going to be able to get this box for your loved ones. So let's say your sister, your mother, your wife, your girlfriend, or even your friend, you can get them this and they're going to love you for it. And done. Your Christmas shopping is done. All right, what's so awesome is if you get the box, then you are eligible to get the men's box. That's right. I just said it. There is a men's box too, with all sorts of incredible products that you guys are definitely going to love, things that you probably never even thought about buying, but then now you won't be able to live without. For women, remember I told you this was going to benefit you too, because you get the box and now you can also vice versa get the men's box and you can gift that away. It's a win-win for everybody. Fabfitfun. Don't miss out. It is so much fun in a box. And like I said, to get the $10 off, just go to fabfitfun.com and use the promo code GLORY. That's Fab, F-A-B, Fit, F-I-T, Fun, F-U-N.com. Use the promo code GLORY. You're going to see what all the hype is about. Fabfitfun.com with the promo code GLORY, and you're going to totally score.
Now, more Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
Were there any times that you made some choices that weren't exactly like you look back and you go, I wish I wouldn't have made that choice?
Not really. I think everything that I've done throughout my life has taught me some lessons in life, and that's it. Sometimes, a lot of people, actually, everybody is different. But for me, I don't regret, or I should say that I don't, I have never said, man, I wish I wouldn't have gone there or done that. Everything has been a learning experience for me, and it's helped me move forward and be the person that I am today, being a strong, minded person and knowing what direction I want to go and what direction I want to guide my kids to.
Yeah. Wow. That's That's pretty wild, though, because I know that there's definitely a lot of times where in life, you know, you can go down one route or the other. And sometimes, you know, you have influences around you that are not exactly the best. But it seems like you had, with your uncle and your parents and all, you had a structure that they kind of protected you from making those kind of decisions or being with the wrong crowd, right?
Yeah. And you know, just being with older people at a very young age, you learn much faster.
Yeah.
You know, you see things that you're not accustomed to seeing. You know, did it take away from my childhood? No, not really, because I had two separate lives. I went to school in San Diego, and I crossed the border every morning, go to school. So I enjoyed that part of my childhood there. Mm-hmm. And then while other kids were playing football and going to soccer or baseball practice after school and sticking around at school, you know, I went home to Tijuana. You know, I had to take a trolley or the bus, or my mom would pick me up. I would do my homework, do what I had to do in TJ before I had to go to wrestling school. And wrestling school was usually around 7 p.m. till about 10 p.m.
Wow.
So I had two separate lives at a very young age.
Tell me about this, because I remember you mentioning this and it was so surprising to me. And I want the listeners to hear this story. I was so shocked because you were telling me at first that you actually, like you said, you were born in San Diego, but your parents, everybody's from Mexico, and they came to the U.S. to have you. And then your dad was working you were living, explain it to me, because I forget the whole thing, but it was fascinating.
So my dad is from Guadalajara. My mom is from Guadalajara, but they both left Guadalajara to live in Tijuana, and that's where they met. You know, they grew up in Tijuana. Mm-hmm. They started their family there, and 3 of my brothers were born in Tijuana. Me being the last sibling of the family. You know, at the time was when the parenting saw the benefits of having children in the U.S. So I was that last child that was born in Chula Vista, California. Mm-hmm. Based off of that, my parents and my brothers were able to become U.S. citizens because of my parents' struggle to have me in the U.S. And, you know, which is pretty much what is happening now. Yeah. Or from my lifetime that I was born, 43 years ago up until this day, you know, and with all the issues that's been going on with President Trump and, you know, the struggle of Hispanic families coming into the U.S. and having their kids here, you know, it's actually a struggle. It's really, really a struggle. Maybe it's more of a struggle now than it is back then. You know, back then the struggle was to get across. Now the struggle is those that are here, you know, are being pushed out.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because, you know, hearing the story about you crossing the border and your dad crossing, and then you had to cross it every morning to go to school, and how you're feeling about the things that are happening now. But I mean, is it that Mexico is not providing? I mean, why are so many people trying to get into the U.S. from Mexico?
I want to say I'm horrible sometimes at following the political side of the world, especially, well, I should say of U.S., the U.S. side and what happens, because it really saddens me after seeing young children pulled away from their parents. You know what? I can't even imagine if I ever got pulled away from my parents, or if my kids were pulled away from me at a very young age. I would go freaking crazy, right? You know, and to be completely useless because there's nothing you can do, you know. So it really breaks my heart that we see such a bad time with Hispanic families in this lifetime. You know, it breaks my heart. It really does break my heart with everything that's been going on. Right here, Tijuana, border crossing from San Diego, they've closed the border this week, maybe 2 or 3 times. This past week, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And, families can't get in. And I don't know if they closed it going out, but I know they closed it coming in. So, it's getting more serious every time. So,
right. But I feel
don't know
like
what's
there's
going to happen with that.
I also feel like I was saying, like, what is it so bad about Mexico? Why is everybody trying to escape Mexico that they're trying to come into the U.S. so much? Are the conditions pretty bad in Mexico?
No, the conditions, they have, it has its phases, but for people to be saying that Mexico is horrible or is bad, no, I go in and out, at least once a month. So, it all depends where you're at and who you hang out with. I mean, I grew up in Tijuana. Mm-hmm. I lived in Mexico City. I traveled all around the Republic of Mexico. So there's territories that are bad, but it's always been like that. Mm-hmm. And there's places here in the U.S. that are pretty bad.
Of course.
It's like anywhere else in the world. You have certain areas. Yes, the government in Mexico is pretty bad. But it's always been up and down. So it's not like it's shocking to all of us, because we've had that again around the world, not just in Mexico, not just in the U.S., just, it's with things that happen in the political side of the world.
So is that what you think, though, as far as maybe it's the government that they're running away from?
The families?
Yeah.
In Mexico?
The ones that are trying to come into the U.S.
I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's them coming in to be closer to their families. I don't know if it's a situation like my parents' situation, that they're Mexicans and they had children in the U.S. and they're trying to come back. So at one point, maybe they don't get pushed away for good, and they can't never come back into the U.S. So, I'm sure every family is different, and they have their own reason on why they want to come back into the U.S.
Got it. Well, I hope everything gets figured out for sure, because it's, it's human beings. So we definitely having, some empathy as to what's going on. And, I get both sides of things. So it's a hard thing to try to figure out. But I hope to God that we can get some bipartisanship to definitely get that going. But that was one of the things that I remember you sharing in the story, going back to the border crossing. I mean, your dad was crossing every day and then got to be a little too much. So then you guys moved to Tijuana, and now you're the one that's crossing to come to school. That was crazy how the hours that you said you'd get on the road over like 5 a.m. to come to school. Yeah.
That just goes to show how solid my parents' relationship was, because my father both of my parents have always worked, so my father, when we lived in San Diego, he would cross into Tijuana, Mexico, and go to work at a very early time, 6 a.m. All the way to 4 p.m. And back in that time, coming into San Diego after 4 p.m., traffic was just hectic. Yeah. It was really bad. So sometimes he wouldn't get home till 7, 8 p.m., after leaving the house at 6 a.m.
Right.
You can only imagine.
Yeah.
That's just, it's tiring. So somewhere along the line, my parents decided that, it was time to switch roles. And we moved to Tijuana. My parents had already bought a house, or they had some land in Tijuana. They built the house that they wanted. We moved into it. And now my dad was only 5 minutes away from work where we used to live. and my mom was working in San Diego. She had a part-time job, and she took advantage of dropping me off at school and then going to work. But yes, leaving the house sometimes earlier than 5 a.m., but normally 5 a.m. was our call time. And we would sit at the border, for an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes 3. And that's because every kid that went to school in San Diego that lived in Tijuana was crossing that border at that time.
Jeez. And I remember you even saying to me that there were times that the line got so long that your mom's like, all right, you're going to have to go walk the rest of the way.
Yes. Now, most of my time during the traffic, I would just jump in the back seat and try to pick up on my sleep.
Yeah.
So I would train from 7 to 10 p.m. Sometimes I wouldn't get home 11:30. Now, keep in mind, this is, almost 35 years ago.
Yeah.
30 years ago. This is how safe Tijuana was. My parents, they knew I was at wrestling school, it was literally about maybe 6 blocks away from the house.
Uh-huh.
So after training, I would just walk home. A 13-year-old kid, I would never let my kid walk home at 13 years old.
Oh, really? Now things are not good? No?
No. I mean, I just wouldn't do it. Not even here in San Diego. Like if my son was 13 or my daughter was 13 and they were at a friend's house, and they left the house at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
I would definitely go by and pick them up.
True.
But that's just different times.
Yeah, different times.
Different times. Yes. So I would walk home, probably end up going to sleep about 12, 12:30, and woke up at 5 a.m. to go to school.
Wow.
So, and this was pretty much Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Wow.
So 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes Mondays as well.
Jeez, so you were training all that time at night and then going to school all during the day.
And then going to school in the morning.
And then the border crossing. Jeez, Ray,
the border crossing.
That's a struggle, man.
It was. I mean, again, different times. Back then, we worked harder as kids than our kids do now.
Yeah.
So, we tend to say that, we work hard so our families don't have to work hard. And, you can do good or you can do bad because you can spoil them, but then they won't have any sense of direction or sense of obligation or commitment to do anything. Mm-hmm. Or they can understand that they're living this great lifestyle because both you and your wife, or as parents, you're doing this for your kids so they don't have to struggle what we had to go through. They don't have to see that struggle. Yeah. But hopefully they're smart enough to understand and not take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's the fine line, right? You don't want them to go through the struggle. But at the same time, Ray, wouldn't you say when you look back at your struggle, that was actually a blessing at the same time?
Most definitely. And I wouldn't want it any different. I enjoyed everything that I went through. And even the days that I didn't enjoy it, I most definitely enjoy now speaking about it because it just made me the person who I am now.
Yeah, I could see it because you work so hard. And I want to ask, though, did your size ever bother you when you were growing up?
It didn't bother me until I broke into the sport. And that was like the negative feedback. Huh. You got to get some size. You got to, you're too small or he's too small. You got to get some size in him. He's got to look bigger, this, that. It was such a constant letdown to know that my size didn't impress anyone. From wrestling promoters to other wrestlers that were very successful during my childhood as wrestlers, so to know that was like a big that was like my failure to not becoming who I am now.
Yeah.
That just, it fed me so much positive energy and so much input to work harder and to put in the time to just be who I am now. You know, it just that fueled me up.
I was going to say, how did it fuel you though? Because a lot of people would get deterred by that and they'd give up. What was it that you were like, I'm not going to give up. This is going to be an asset in the long run.
It's just my will and my strong mind to accomplish what I really loved. And it all comes down to that, to what it is that you really want to do, no matter what other people say, and no matter the amount of doors that get shut down in your face. You know, you keep looking and you keep striving, and eventually you're gonna hit that road to success. You know, because you're putting in the work. You know, there's no time to even think about failure, and that's something that I never thought about. As much as people put me down because of my size and my height and my weight, I just never considered that to be an issue to me.
Did your uncle help you with that, or the trait that your parents, like, did you see them kind of conquer through things where you're like, you tapped into that, or you just feel like you were born with that? With the will, with the will to like just push through. Like, was that influenced by somebody else, or was your uncle like telling you, you know what, you can do this, don't worry about your size, or like anything like that? Or was that really just in you?
I think it was a little bit of both. I don't think my parents ever, I recall my parents never telling me not to give up, but just seeing them succeed in what they did on a day-to-day basis, you know, was somehow triggering my mindset to succeed in what I was doing.
Yeah.
And my uncle were two different weight classes. My uncle has always been a big guy, solid, you know, over 200 pounds.
Wow.
But because my uncle never told me you're too small. Okay. So this is going to be harder for you. He never made me feel like my size was going to prevent me from being who I am.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that he never put it in my head,
that's great.
You know, it helped me.
That's key. That's key, because I think if it would have been coming from your parents or coming from your uncle, somebody that you're very attached to, and that's what happens to a lot of people, is they hear it from a family member. And when it gets ingrained from a family member, all of a sudden, for some reason, they start believing it more than even when they hear it from other people. And so it's beautiful.
And it psychs you up. Yeah, it psychs you up. It throws you off path.
Yeah.
You know, that's the last thing you want to hear from your loved ones.
Right.
You don't want to hear that you can't make it. Yeah.
And yeah, that's the thing, is we put too much weight into the people that are around us, and the negative things that they say. If they are a family member, we believe it way more. And that's why I always try to encourage people, don't believe the negative talk. I don't care if it is from a family member, from a friend, from anyone. You got to just continue your path and your passion, and you can get through. And I was going to let you know, I don't know if you know this or not, but Zelina Vega, she was on my show, and she was talking about how you really inspired her. And one of the main things was your size, because they kept telling her that she was too small. And so when you succeeded and all, she was really tapping into you. It's just like, no, if Rey did it, then I can do it. Has she ever spoken to you about that? And how does that make you feel to know that you have inspired somebody else that now is working on the same show that you are on?
Incredible. That is a true blessing for me. And I know, like Selena, there's been many others in this industry that have seen light or have been inspired by the work that I have done over the almost 30 years of my career. And that is that's nothing but a blessing for me to be able to inspire others that are somehow related in the same weight or category that I've been categorized throughout my career. And for them to say, if Rey did it, I can do it too, and not only in this sport, but in life in general. I've had so many people walk up to me at autograph signings, at events to tell me that because of me, they succeeded in what they thought they would never be able to do, but because they saw me, that gave them life, that gave them hope, that gave them inspiration. And again, that is a true blessing to be able to inspire other people in life in general.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And that's why I always end the broadcast telling people to always be yourself and trust that it's enough. Because thank God you trusted who you were and didn't quit, because now you do get to inspire so many people. And we can't all be the same size. That's boring. The same size, the same age,
true.
the same this, the same that. It is so boring. And you add so much. And I have to say, now you are back. SmackDown. I was so excited when the announcement got made that you were coming back. I was also surprised because I thought that I thought that maybe you were like, okay, I'm good. I've had that run and now I just want to be in the independent circle. So why come back?
The opportunity was definitely on the table. And from the moment I left not giving detailed explanation to media or to whoever had any doubts or questions about why I left. I knew that between WWE and myself, this was a part-time farewell. I needed to take a break. I needed to rest. I need to be around my family. I need to just pick up on a lot of things that I had missed out over the years, just being on the road and traveling and dedicating so much time into the sport that, I kind of pushed my family aside. And don't get me wrong, my wife has always been very supportive of what I do and my kids as well. But when your kids are young, they don't understand why dad has to leave every week. Yeah. They don't understand why dad is not there for their birthday or special events at school. They just know that dad's working, dad's on the road.
Right.
Now that they're older, they understand that, they understand what I do and they understand the impact that I have in life and in other people's lives. So that's a big, that was pretty much my answer to why I was stepping away from my contractual agreement with WWE. I started working in the indie scenes. I did a little bit with Lucha Underground, and towards the end of my independent run, I was working a bit more in Japan with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So that was definitely on my bucket list to accomplish throughout my goals in my career. And sure enough, the beginning of this year, 2018, I got an opportunity to go back and be part of the Royal Rumble, be a guest appearance for
So
the Rumble. And I think that just kind of led everything to where it's at right now.
Wow. How did it feel for you, actually, to not just, I'm not talking about the Royal Rumble, but I mean, just now to be back with SmackDown, which is a brand that you were on for so many years. How did that feel for you to return?
It has been incredible. From the time that I left to up until now, there's definitely a lot of new faces.
Yes.
It's a new roster.
It's crazy, right?
New roster. It is. But that's the evolution of the sport. You can't have everybody around forever.
Yeah.
And right around the time that I left, a lot of guys were just leaving the company due to injuries or just continue with whatever it is they wanted to do outside of wrestling. So to be back now and to see some old faces and new faces is actually it's really, really, it feels good. Feels good to be back and under different terms. I definitely would not be able to go back and wrestle at the full schedule that I had prior to me leaving 4 years ago. My body is definitely beat down after 29 years of a solid career. And I'm just the type of person that when that bell rings or when I walk out that curtain, I'm ready to give 199%, 200%. I don't know how to hold back. And as much as people tell me, Ray, you got to take it easy, you need this, that, you don't have to do that much. You're okay. People already know you. I can't cheat my fans, so I go out there and I give everything.
Yeah. So, we talked about a little bit backstage when I saw you on what it is that you're doing to actually stay healthy. So what have you changed for that?
Most definitely the way I train, my eating habits and my supplementation. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, you have newer technology out there. You have new ways of helping with your body, from deep tissue massage to cryo chamber to the float pod, which helps you with swelling, decrease inflammation. Your supplementation is very, very important. What you take on a day-to-day basis to help you with your injuries, your ligaments, your joints, all of that. It's things that as a kid you don't really think you need, because you're solid, you're strong. You can go for hours and hours and not hurt. Now, after so many years of being in this industry, I do feel my body ache and hurt and wake up sore. One day of wrestling for me is like going through a European tour back in the day, doing 11, 12 days back to back.
Wow.
Yeah. But it all depends how you take care of yourself. The more you find ways to help benefit the body, your mind, your soul, the more you're going to last in this industry.
Yeah.
And I keep on telling myself that I need to start doing yoga. And that's one thing that I need to do. Like, that's going to have to be my New Year's resolution, because yoga is going to definitely help me sustain my body for however long I want to keep doing this. Yeah. And, overall, just to feel healthy and to be able to wake up in the morning and not feel sore or achy. My muscles are very, very tight. And yoga is one thing that they have recommended me to do. Yeah. And they can assure me that it's going to help me add more years to my career.
I absolutely agree with that, because, when I was hit by a car as a pedestrian, I was pretty jacked up and my back was a mess. And between Pilates and yoga, that's what brought me back. And I have to, there's something actually very easy if you want. It's just a yoga app. There's so many apps out there, and you can actually do it in your hotel room. And just 30 minutes of it, Ray, you're going to see is so crazy what a difference it makes in stretching your body. Really? Yeah, it's so easy. Like I said, if you just download the app and just do a 30-minute of it, it is really ridiculous. That's why everybody's recommending it. So I totally recommend it. So because we need Ray for many more years.
I was actually speaking to, because I was on the Jericho cruise not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
And, yes, and DDP was on there. Mm-hmm. And I was talking with DDP, and I told Diamond, I said, you have to help me out. I said, I really need to get into doing yoga.
Yeah, but he's got his app. It's amazing.
Yes. And it's one of those things where you keep pushing it and pushing it back and pushing it back. And I think that's just me being filled with excuses,
Yeah.
And I have to stop making it an excuse and make it happen.
Right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to challenge you to not even wait till the New Year's resolution and start in December 1st, baby.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start today.
Look, you're right. That's it. Forget the tomorrows.
Yeah.
Start today. At least do 15 minutes. But DDP yoga is really good too. I did that for many years. And that I actually, when I got hit by the car, I actually reached out to DDP and asked him, I was like, okay, dude, so I just got hit like bad and I need some help because I cannot go back to my regular workouts. And so he sent me the DVDs and man, they was just so crazy. So all of that is definitely going to help. So let me ask you this. What is it that you still feel like you need to accomplish coming back?
I think that the only thing, I don't feel like I need to accomplish anything. I feel like I've had a very, very beautiful career, very successful career. I've actually accomplished more than I thought I would ever accomplish. So I'm truly thankful with God for the opportunity of being who I am now and what I've accomplished in this industry. So I really don't feel like I need to accomplish anything anymore. I do what I do because I still love it.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I would love to do as a father and as a sports entertainer is being able to share the ring with my son.
Yeah.
And having my wife and my daughter sit in front row and watch their two loved ones share the ring together.
Oh, that is a goal. There you go. That is a goal.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely needs to happen in the WWE. That would be so beautiful. And you said, do you feel like you're in the final stages of your career?
I'm definitely getting close to shutting down sometime in the next couple of years. I definitely don't see myself going past 5 years. That's without a doubt, and I just wouldn't want to do it for the sake of my body and what I've gone through. I think I've done the work at home and I've brought the money in, and my wife has been very smart to administrate everything here at home. She's been a wife, a mother, a friend, and she's been my accountant all these years and my administrator.
Wow.
She's known how to handle the money and how to invest and how to move it around in the right direction. So, I don't want to have to keep doing this because I have to.
Right.
I want to keep doing this because I love it, and I still feel like I have a little bit more to give to the audience.
Yeah. Well, the audience loves you. I mean, you came out, every time you come out, the audience just adores you. And I adore you, Rey. You're just amazing. You're such a bright light in this world. And just besides your talent, which is incredible, you're just really such a great guy. And you were my first on Luchando. I remember you made time for me. And then you were on the first podcast that I ever did. And now here you are in Chasing Glory. And the fact that you're giving me the first interview since you came back to the WWE, I can't thank you enough. That's truly special. And I just want to ask you, as we wrap this up, has your chase for glory looked the way you thought it was going to look?
It's actually looked much better than I thought it would ever look. To be able to accomplish so much in a lapse of 29 years has been tremendously blessed. I've had a really blessed career, despite the injuries that I've had. They're minor ones compared to other athletes or to other wrestlers. But had multiple surgeries on my knees. but the rest of my body, thank God, feels good, feels solid. And you can only train harder every day, to be able to consist and continue doing what you love doing, just to feel healthy overall. Exercising is very important for me.
Yeah.
Eating well is very important to me, and the more you pass that on to others, they can also have a very healthy and successful lifestyle. But overall, I have to say that the accomplishments that I've had in my career, if you would have asked me 29 years ago when I was breaking into this business, Ray, what do you think you can accomplish in this industry? I definitely wouldn't have said everything that I've done up until this day. So I've been tremendously blessed, and I have a gift. I have a gift to be able to do what I do, and to have my worldwide fan base enjoy my performances.
Yes.
And that to me is more than money can ever give. The love and the respect of the fans have always fueled me up to continue doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, like I said, everybody does love you for a good reason. Ray, how do we find you as far as all the fans? How do they find you on social media?
Social media on Facebook and Twitter, you can find me at Rey Mysterio. And on Instagram, you can find me at 619 I am Lucha.
I love that. Well, man, it was so great to see you over the weekend and get a hug from you again. And I just, again, thank you so much for taking the time to do this, because I know you got a crazy schedule. And I just happy holidays to you, Ray, to your entire family. Much love as always.
Thank you. Likewise to you. And hopefully this is not my first or my last time being able to speak with you. And so no. I always enjoy sharing a little bit of my life stories, and hopefully next time we talk, I have something new to talk about.
I love it. You're always welcome here. Right. That's for sure. All right. Thanks, Ray. Yes. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
That's what I love about the show. Always learning something new about people that I've worked with for so long. And so many of you have followed Rey Mysterio for years. Like he said, he is coming up on 30 years in this industry, continues to give his body because he absolutely loves it. He loves to entertain. And I have so much appreciation for him as an athlete, but even more as a person, because he really is an incredible human being. So thank you, Ray, for coming on here and giving us your Chasing Glory story. Remember, guys, to definitely visit Fabfitfun.com and use the promo code GLORY, because that's going to take care of all your Christmas shopping right there. You got the men's box, you have the women's box. These are so cool. So just remember to visit the site and use the promo code GLORY, and you're going to see what all the hype is about. Also, forsigmatic.com/glory. That one you have to put the /glory. Sigmatic.com/glory. These are all like mushroom-based coffees and elixirs and matchas and hot cacao and lemonades and amazing products that help so many different things, from your brain and creativity and just being sharp, to your skin, to your gut, to helping you sleep better. I mean, it really does all these miraculous things, because mushrooms for centuries have been used in healing properties. So check it out, because it tastes incredible. Remember, the chai latte is my favorite. So for all of you guys, remember that you're going to get 15% off your entire order. forsigmatic.com/glory. That's the only way that you get the 15% off, if you definitely include the /glory at the end of forsigmatic.com. All right, so enjoy Fabfitfun, enjoy Four Sigmatic, and enjoy your week, guys, until we meet again next week. Go out there and live with much peace, love, and passion, and remember to always be yourself and trust that it's enough. Love you.
Thanks for joining us here on Chasing Glory from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends and be sure to subscribe at Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite shows.